Today's market isn't just hot, it's on fire. When demand exceeds supply, buyers tend to be at the mercy of sellers. If you're a buyer, you may be getting discouraged, competing for such few houses. But don't despair, we've got 6 tips. This is Kimberly DiPrima, a realtor with Option Realty Group, working in Chicago's far western burbs known as the Fox Valley. Tip number 1 would be don't go it alone. Get the best real estate agent for you, the one that's going to work best for you and with you. We have access to the resources and experience. Check to make sure that they're an ABR, accredited buyer's representative, so they have lots of experience working with buyers. Tip number 2, you need to be prepared to move quickly. Now there's a difference between rushing and moving quickly. When you rush, you may feel like you're forced, and you don't want to do that and buy the wrong house. However, once you feel good about it, you need to act and put in an offer on that home. And you must have a true lender pre-approval, not a pre-qualification. It's important to make sure that the lender has everything they need, all your income statements, debt statements, and your W-2s for the last few years. If the lender hasn't asked for that, then it's not a true pre-approval. Make sure you have all the cash available that you will need for this transaction. And if you're getting a gift, have it in your bank account. My 3rd tip would be to rethink contingencies. There's something else you need to know about a seller's market. It's not always about the price. Make sure to put your best offer in first. You may not have a chance to go back and revise it. So if you want to be competitive against multiple offers, you need to reduce the number of contingencies on your offer. So what are real estate contingencies? Attorney review, home inspection, financing, appraisal, home insurance, and if you already own a home, there could be a home to sell or a home to close contingency. While all these contingencies are meant to safeguard you, the buyer, in a competitive market, it can affect whether you win or lose the house. In order to have as few contingencies as possible, we need to determine what is necessary and what is not. Let me just say this. If you have a home to sell and there's multiple offers, that seller is not going to consider your offer against those that don't. So that means you put your house on the market before you've picked out your next home. And hopefully it's sold quickly as well, and you already accepted an offer where you have a firm closing date. That gives the seller assurance that your home will indeed close, making the home you're going to buy from them a better transaction, because it will close. With that said, you might want to investigate some short-term options for housing. So if the house has good bones, you may offer an as-is purchase. It doesn't mean you don't have an inspection. It means you're buying the house without asking them to make any repairs, but that inspection gives you assurance you know what you're buying. The 4th tip would be to be accommodating. Take into account what their needs are as well. Do they have a home to go to? What is a closing date for their next home? Or maybe they're in the same situation and they're selling before they've purchased their next home. So maybe you can let them stay a little longer after closing. And that's called a seller leaseback, where the seller pays you, the buyer, a daily rate based upon your mortgage payment. So that's a stated time frame and dollar amount. But it gives everybody a little buffer of moving and moving out. Do not try to negotiate by putting in a lower offer. Other buyers are likely to put in their best offers, and they're not even going to look at yours, and they're going to consider it a low ball offer. Hold on to the end, and I'll have a bonus 7th tip for you. Number 5 would be appeal to the seller's emotional side. It may not work in the majority of the cases, but you can appeal to the emotional side of the seller, because many sellers, many people are emotionally connected to their homes. It's a way to bring some humanness into the transaction and take out just the price and the terms. Now, with that said, there could be a little controversy on this one, because there could be some concerns about fair housing. Only go about this if you are indeed in multiple offers. A personal letter introducing yourself, or even a face-to-face meeting with the seller. Make sure your little letter does not include any photographs. Add in what really attracts you and why this home is the perfect home for you. Reference relevant financial information. As I said, do not include any photos that could give any indication about age, race, or ethnicity. It's important to keep your feelings in check. It's so easy to get discouraged. Don't fall in love with just one house, but don't give up either. Ask yourself, can you see yourself living here? As long as buyers keep moving the ball down the field and learn from the homes that they've lost out on, the timing, the price, the terms, eventually they will work out in your behalf. Now that bonus tip, well, actually it's a couple of tips. Look for homes below your budget. That way you have a little room to bid higher. Look for homes that need a little more help, a little decorating, the ones that everybody else doesn't want. Have as much funds available for earnest money, and keep a little extra money on the side in case you need that for decorating or to have a gap in an appraisal. Watch this video next on terms that every home buyer and home seller should know. Have a great day, and God bless.